that they need, from roads to bridges and all those things. Those are common things. But I don't see anywhere in the budget for rainy day funds. We all know, we all have budgets in our household. Things come up all the time. And those things need to be set aside for those type of situations where things come up you don't see. And I don't see that in the planning stages, and I feel that's something that the community has to include as part of your strategic initiative as well. Thank you.
All carried.
Well, I think we know this, but what is your position on the recent tax increase approved by the Commissioners Court?
I think it was misguided. I think it was the easy answer in some ways, because what they did is they positioned themselves, well, we fired these people, but we're still going to raise your tax increase. And I think in times of a recession, as one of the commissioners told me over coffee who didn't vote for the tax increase, they told me if everybody's budget had been exposed to a little bit more cutting, then over the next 2 years we could have avoided that tax increase, because the need was kind of short term. And I think over the long term, we could have taken some other measures and we could have avoided that tax increase. And I will never vote for a budget that requires a tax increase. If you want somebody to vote for tax increases, I'm not your candidate. I will never vote for a tax increase in this county. Thank you very much.
In light of the unpopularity of the tax increase, what would you do to restore citizens' trust in their commissioners?
Well, there's no department that is off limits when it comes to scrutinizing a budget. Every single expenditure needs to be vetted for appropriateness. We do so and have done so in the city of Midlothian. We have less taxes, we're collecting less taxes now than we did in 2007, and reduced our tax rate because of that. We laid no one off. We had no furloughs or no cuts in services while being able to maintain the current levels of service. You need to find more efficient, effective ways of governing. You need to find more efficient and effective ways of running every department. And it's been said before, and it's true, that a single elected official has no control over other departments. But we need to establish relationships, and we need to establish a culture of working together for the benefit of all of our taxpayers by reducing tax impacts.
Now, should Ellis County Commissioners combine and share resources such as road equipment in order to save money?
Obviously, that would be a very good idea, since we do it also with our fire departments and emergency shared services with different counties of working together to come up with ideas. I think it has to go in deeper, and that is being able to communicate again with a strategic plan of having the communities in this region working together, coming up with equipment that we could utilize and share with each other. That goes to even supplies, gas and icing equipment and all those types of things that we could share and save money on. I just think that it's something it's a no-brainer. And I feel in the end, if we're working together and trying to save money, then in the end it helps our citizens and they have more confidence in us that we know what we're doing. Thank you.
Final question. All right.
Should Ellis County Commissioners combine and share resources such as road equipment in order to save money?
Well, there are dozens of models of governance that other counties employ. Ellis County has not changed its primary way of operating for the last 30 years, and I can only speak for the time that I've lived here in Ellis County. Certainly you have to be very careful when you're making major changes in the way that you operate, and I would suggest, as we do in our business, that it be well thought out, well planned, and then beta tested on a smaller market. So I would try and build a relationship with one of the other neighboring commissioners and try it first with 2 commissioners' precincts before moving forward with all 4, because moving back can be very expensive as well. But yes, I think that we could consolidate not only with Road and Bridge, but other departments as well. I think that we are not efficient or effective, and that's one of the things that under my platform and with the cooperation of the other electorate would push for. Thank you.
Paul, in light of the unpopularity of the tax increase, what would you do to restore citizens' trust in their commissioners?
Well, one thing that I think the commissioners need to do, and that I would do individually, is start visiting each community and holding a community forum about once a quarter, each of the major communities, to make sure that I'm getting some citizen input. I think one thing that we lack right now is we have the structured citizen input time in our county court, and sometimes I don't like the way that's structured. I think sometimes people are shut down and not allowed to speak their mind. I don't think that people should have to go looking for me or even have to call my office to find me. I think if they're not meeting with me in Midlothian, where I graduated from high school, or Italy or Milford, which is the area I live now, or Maypearl, which is an area that I'm familiar with, they ought to have the opportunity to do so. And I'm going to go to their community and try to meet with them. And I think that's what we need. We need some open government in this county, and we haven't had it in years. Thank you very much.
Final question, Alex, and then as soon as you get through with this question, we want you to do your, come on up, Alex, so you're going to your closing statement.
What is your position on the recent tax increase approved by the Commissioners Court?
Like I mentioned before, I think it was ill-advised. It was based on reaction, not planning. And again, the way I would run the Commissioners Court is going to be done in a very business, methodical approach. It's very strategic. And those are the type of things that, again, if you're not planning for the what if something happens, you come up short with money, you got to have things set aside for those things that come up. An emergency of whatever nature, or underfunding, or whatever it may be. So from that aspect, I feel very strongly that you got to have a strategic plan and have things made for just in case when you go.
You want to add whatever you want for a closing statement?
Sure. Thank you. Again, my name is Alex Schindler, and I'm very honored to be here tonight. I'm honored to have the opportunity to run on behalf of the citizens. I feel that with the Magna Blend in our area with the Super Collider, I live about a mile away, and in that instance where the people were not included, weren't advised, didn't have an opportunity to speak about it. It was just done in an underhanded manner, voted in, and done. And before we knew it, we've got one of the most dangerous chemical plants being relocated in our backyard. And we've asked the Commissioners Court to rescind the vote. We've asked them to try and give us an opportunity to be represented and be heard. They have none of it. And that is the biggest thing that I feel is transparency and honesty, and that is something that we, the people, need to be heard. If I'm elected, I can promise you this, you will have somebody that will represent you and you will be heard. Thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate you inviting us here to lay out our platforms for governance here in Ellis County. Although some may term me as an incumbent official, only that I've served in the past, I hope you don't hold it against me. We're not all bad. Some of us have great ideas, and we've led those in our community and led with those in positions of making decisions, those who make decisions that have allowed us to progress. And Ellis County's way behind. Ellis County has not had open governance. It's not been productive or effective for a very, very long time. I was hoping you'd ask what would one of my biggest challenges be, and that would be to find two other commissioners who join me in recognizing our shortfalls and be willing to step out and say, let's make some changes. And I think that is a huge, huge issue. I think that you need to be able to establish relationships with those other commissioners and the judge and ask them to be forward-thinking, to find a governance model that works for all of our people and for the benefit of those who we serve. Thank you.
gentlemen. Oh, Paul Perry, come on up, Paul.
Jimmy, you trying to ride? Folks, I have some core issues, and one of them is transparency. And one way I propose to get around what we've seen. Donna, are you trying to rattle me? Is that your phone? One thing that I want to see is some quarterly meetings. I think if you are in representative government, you owe it to your people to be out there where they can approach you. And so I'm serious about the quarterly meetings in major communities in the precinct. Number two, no tax increases. You know, if I'm touching base with the people are going to have a way for me to avoid tax increases. There's more brains out there in the precinct than just mine or just in the commissioner's court. And I bet we can avoid the tax increase. I bet we can rescind some of the ones that are there. And number three, I don't think I should be there forever. If y'all choose to elect me, I will serve for 2 terms, and I will go back and live under the rules that I've helped to put together. Thank you. I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, the sheriff candidates, if they would come up, and the sheriff. You get to draw names. Numbers. Kevin Ketchum, opening statement, please. What is it, 2 minutes? 2 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Thank y'all for coming out. My name is Kevin Ketchum. I'm a Republican candidate for Ellis County Sheriff. To give you a little bit of background about myself to begin, I'm 34 years old. I'm a lifelong Ellis County resident. Been married to my wife, Minnie, for 13 years. We have 2 daughters, 10 and 5. I lived in Palmer all my life, grew up in Palmer, went to Palmer schools, graduated in 1995. Immediately got into the law enforcement field and went in to work for the Ellis County Sheriff's Office in 1997 as a detention officer when I was only 19 years old. I worked my way up through the ranks quickly. I spent 12 years with that office and topped my career as a lieutenant in patrol and criminal investigation supervisor over 50 deputies. In 2009, I decided that I would be seeking election for sheriff in 2012, so I resigned my employment and went to work at Kaufman County Sheriff's Office. In 2009, been there ever since. I'm there today. After only 2.5 years with that office, I've already achieved the rank of lieutenant there, and I'm one of 4 commanders in the patrol division. I have the most well-rounded career of the other 2 candidates I've spent. I don't have the years of service that they do simply because of my youth, but in the time I have been in law enforcement, I have the most rounded career. In fact, I've served in almost all aspects of law enforcement, from detention, patrol, investigations, administration, narcotics, virtually all fields. And I'd like to ask for your vote this upcoming election, and I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me here. Thank you.
Susan Welch Rodriguez.
Hello, my name is Susan Welch Rodriguez, running for sheriff here in Ellis County. I've got 34 years of law enforcement experience to bring to you. I was born in Dallas and raised in DeSoto, and from there I started saving lives in 1972 as a lifeguard at the DeSoto City Pool. From there I moved on and hired on at the Sheriff's Department in '78, Dallas Sheriff's Department, 1978. I mean, when I first hired on, I went in with gun, badge, handcuffs. Of course, I retired in 2009. What did we have then? We had I had a whole Suburban load of tactical gear and you know, the list goes on, the shields and mace and things that we just didn't have starting out. But anyway, I just want to tell you I've got a lot to offer to you. And like I said, 34 years to bring to you on a silver platter. Thank you.
Johnny Brown.
Thank you all for coming tonight. I am Johnny Brown. I am your sheriff. You are my bosses. I am a truly conservative Republican. I've run the sheriff's office as a conservative. We've operated under budget. We've cut the budget. We've added, you have inmates out cleaning roads. You have inmates doing laundry for other precincts. We've opened up the mechanic shop to other areas of the county. We've tried everything we can to cut the dollars for everybody. I will tell you this, I attended the Constitutional Sheriff's Office 2 weeks ago, and I was one of only 7 sheriffs from the state of Texas that went to that conference. And it deals with your constitutional.
Sheriff Brown, stay up there if you will.
Johnny, what do you believe is the impact of illegal immigration on criminal activity in Ellis County?
I don't know of a way to judge that. There's illegal immigrants everywhere in the state. We deal with the criminal element side of it. I don't go around asking for green cards or visas, so I don't have a good number for you. I will tell you that if we deal with an illegal immigrant that has committed a crime in Ellis County, we put a detainer on them, ICE comes, picks them up, takes them away. We don't have a way of measuring that.
There's a follow-up question on this one too. What role does the sheriff have, if any, in enforcing immigration laws?
We don't have any. That's the state of Texas doesn't have a law against it. It's a federal law when they cross over. Like I said, unless they commit a crime in Ellis County, it's the federal government's job to clean up their mess. Thank you.
Susan, in Friends versus the United States and other similar cases, the Supreme Court ruled that the federal government can't force local law officials to enforce federal laws or regulations. Recent news stories detail how some sheriffs are protecting citizens against unconstitutional laws, but others are unwilling to deter overreaching federal mandates. On which side of this issue do you fall?
I would say that I would need to adhere to the Constitution and stick to our penal code and the traffic laws, health and safety codes, and do what it states in the state in the laws of the penal code. Whereas federal people, they'll take care of the federal end of it, but as far as county, we go by the laws of the state of Texas and enforce those.
Kevin, what do you see as the biggest need of the Sheriff's Department right now, and what would you do to fill that need?
I think the biggest need right now is reestablishing the public trust. Every time you turn on the TV, you see an officer that's been arrested. You see an officer that's committed a crime. And that one officer gives a black eye to law enforcement as a whole. We are obligated to protect you people. We are obligated to gain your trust, and we are obligated to do the job for you. And that would be one of my goals, is to get out, reestablish county law enforcement to the citizens of Ellis County, not just concentrated inside the city. Reestablish the public trust. Reestablish that we are here for you, and we're going to do the job that you elected us to do. Thank you.
In Friends versus United States and other similar cases, the Supreme Court ruled that the federal government can't force local law officials to enforce federal laws or regulations. Recent news stories detail how some sheriffs are protecting citizens against unconstitutional laws, but others are unwilling to deter overreaching federal mandates. On which side of this issue do you fall?
Well, just coming back from the Constitutional Sheriff's Convention, that was what a lot of it was about. I don't think the federal government is any better than anybody else. Unfortunately, we created that monster by not voting people out. During the conference, there was people bootlegging milk, and I had to laugh. Why would you have to bootleg milk? Because it's not pasteurized, so they got it bootlegged like you used to do whiskey across the lines. I'm not for any kind of mandates that aren't constitutional. Thank y'all.
Kevin?
Kevin, what do you believe is the impact of illegal immigration on criminal activity in Ellis County?
I think it has a big impact in the criminal activity. When these folks come over to our country illegally, they don't have anything. They don't have permanent residence. They don't have jobs. They don't have income. They've got to get that from somewhere, and that somewhere is preying upon people like you. So I definitely think illegal immigration has an impact on crime.
And as a follow-up, what role does the sheriff have, if any, in enforcing immigration laws?
Well, we don't have the authority to enforce immigration laws. However, most of the time when you come in contact, it's because they've committed a laws or a violation of state law. So your illegal immigrant may have just broken in your house and committed a burglary. They may have stole from you. They might have assaulted someone. Those are the crimes that we can take them into custody for and jail them, and then place an ICE detainer. And once they're finished with the local charges, then they can be deported back to their country.
Susan, what do you see as the biggest need of the sheriff's department right now, and what would you do to fill that need?
The biggest need I see right now is the staffing. The staffing needs, the positions, there's a lot of open positions that it needs to be staffed. Also see that the sheriff needs to be accessible to the public and needs to be able to be open to the public to see, to hear what the public needs. So I would think that the staffing and obviously more patrols on the streets to serve and protect the citizens of Ellis County. Thank you.
Okay, last question. Sheriff Brown, come on up.
Johnny, same question. What is the biggest need of the sheriff's department right now, and what would you do to fill that need?
The biggest deal right now is radio communication. We have a system that was built in the 70s. When a deputy gets out in the far ends of the county, they cannot talk on a handheld. I've not added deputies. I've tried to keep the budget low. We have moved officers around and put them out on the street, but when you've got them out there and you've got one guy that's other side of Avalon and can't talk on a handheld, it's a major emergency. We do have mandates that require us to be compliant across the board with everybody and be able to talk to everybody. And we are working on it. They started working on our voting boxes, and it is being handled.
Kevin, come on up.
Kevin, in Trans versus United States and other similar cases, the Supreme Court ruled that the federal government can't force local law officials to enforce federal laws and regulations. Recent news stories detail how some sheriffs are protecting citizens against unconstitutional laws, but others are unwilling to deter overreaching federal mandates. On which side of this issue do you fall?
I cannot honestly say that I would violate someone's constitutional rights regardless of the federal mandates that are in place. I would take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States regardless of what mandates are in place. The Constitution is there for your protection. They lay out your rights, and that's what I will strive to uphold. So no, I can't enforce a federal mandate against the Constitution. What do you believe is the impact
illegal immigration on criminal activity in Ellis County?
There is quite a big impact with illegal immigration. From my experiences back in Big D, what happens is there's a lot of crimes that are committed, and with that, cases are filed and warrants are issued. In the meantime, officers go out to serve these warrants, and person is gone, or you make the arrest. But with that, what it does, it builds a lot of cases. A lot of the illegals, they do go back to Mexico, and then you've got the files. The files are full of cases, and so I'm sure that goes on here in Ellis County as well. So it does crowd the files, but you know, sometimes they get deported and whatnot. And it adds to the lots of busy work. Thank you.
Well, as a follow-up, what role does the sheriff have, if any, in enforcing immigration laws?
The sheriff's main duty is to take care and custody the jail and make sure those immigration prisoners are seen by ICE, and from there ICE determines and moves ahead with whatever status they have. That would be the main objective as sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you stay up and give your closing statement?
I just want to say, I want to thank everyone here tonight. I really appreciate everyone in the Tea Party, and it is an honor to be here, just to be a candidate for sheriff of Ellis County, and to be able to serve is just I can't describe it. But there again, I am the candidate with the 34 years, and it ranges from from warrants, range master, training instructor, master peace officer. I'm licensed jailer, and so I urge you to check out my website, www.susanforelliscountysheriff.com. Check it out. Thank you.
Kevin, closing statement, please.
Again, thank y'all for coming. It's been a real privilege to be able to talk to you people tonight. Like I said, I'd like to ask for your vote in the upcoming election for the sheriff of Ellis County. As I stated before, I have the most well-rounded career of the other two candidates. I have the experience, the know-how, and I have the youth on my side to be your sheriff. I can run a sheriff's department. I've ran a sheriff's department, and I want to show that to you now. I have a website I'd like you to check out as well, www.catchemforsheriff.com. And once again, let's catch them in 2012.
Thank y'all for coming out tonight. Thank you for letting me be your sheriff. I want to thank my wife. I always leave her out, but if it wasn't for her, I probably would have some hair anyway. But, I want to be your sheriff again. I'm conservative. I've done the job, and would love to continue doing it. Thank y'all.
Are there any other candidates here tonight running for any office here in Ellis County? Okay, all right. If y'all come forward, we'll let y'all make a statement of a couple minutes each. 2 minutes. Oh, thank you all, sheriff's candidates. I'm sorry. Get up.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Randy. It's so delighted to be here this evening. My name is Joe Chow. I am a former mayor of the city of Addison for the past 6 years. I'm running for U.S. Congress in the new District 6, which covers Ellis County, Navarro County, Mansfield, and some other area, and decided, so might be able to know in the next few days. So, I am a conservative Republican. I am for smaller government, lower taxes, fiscal responsibility, and term limits. Let me tell you why. Since President Obama in office, he added 253,000 civilian federal employees. So you also remember President Ronald Reagan said, government is not the solution. Government is the problem. So we need to review all the programs, 10,000 programs in 682 departments. Also, I'm for lower taxes. When I was mayor in City of Addison, for the first time we obtained AAA bond rating while keeping a rainy day funds for 40%, which is equivalent to $11 million. And also, I lowered our tax rates in 2006 and 2007. Have you ever heard of those? Seldom any city will lower taxes. So I'm for lower taxes and also fiscal responsibility. We always want to balance our budget every year. This President Obama proposed the project is over. So I need to ask for your votes. And I need your financial support, volunteer support, and also, most importantly, your votes. It's chow time. Thank you so much.
Joe Chow, did you tell the people what office you're running for?
Yes, I did.
Okay, well, tell them again.
Yes, I did. I'm running for U.S. Congress for the new District 6. So I need all your support again. Remember, it's chow time. It's chow time.
Hey, good evening. My name is Itamar Gelman. I'm running for District 6 as well. I was born in the United States, and yes, I do have my long-form birth certificate. We actually even published it on YouTube this week, so the real one. I'm running for District 6, as I said. I was born here in the States, grew up in Israel, served in the Israeli Army Special Forces as a lieutenant, served in the Israeli Police Department for 6 years as a lieutenant. Now I'm here, I'm serving in the U.S. Air Force Civil Air Patrol as a search and rescue pilot, and I'm a small business owner. I love my country, and I believe in small government. Probably I'm preaching to the choir here with the Second Amendment, but anyone here that claims to have more guns than I do, I'm welcome to open my closet and my safe. I'm willing to take you guys to the range and learn a trick or two on how to shoot. I'm like any other constitutional and Republican, conservative. I will protect and I will fight. I have a good track record of fighting and standing up for the right. And it will be the first time, all my life I was self-employed, except the military and the police department. It will be the first time when I get elected to have 698,000 bosses. So hopefully I'll satisfy all of them. I got flyers here with my campaign website. It's very, very detailed with a lot of information about me and every single agenda that I have, every single line. Very, very detailed. If for some reason it doesn't answer any of your questions, email me. I personally answer emails. So it's not someone that claims to be me. It's not some of my campaign guys. It's not someone I'm paid to answer my email. You'll get an email from me explaining exactly, and I answer every single email. I don't object to any email. My time is up. Thank you very much for your time.
Kevin Crouch, running for school board.
I want to thank you all for allowing me to speak up here, even though I wasn't on the list. But I've been in Waxahachie my entire life, all 20 years of my life, and I've been through Waxahachie schools, all from kindergarten up. And I ran in 2009 because things were bad. I'm running in 2012 because they're worse. Our school board is getting away with spending money in an out-of-control fashion. For example, one of the board members wanted to spend $600,000 on a new scoreboard for the new stadium that we have. And for one, I think that's too much money for a couple of numbers. And we've got, I mean, the list goes on. I can't even tell you all the different examples that we have of the waste up there. And that's the kind of policies that are just rampant in Washington. And I think it's going to be a shame if I, at this age, allow that to come to Waxahachie. I just won't have it. And our school district needs to be about saving money, not wasting it. I want to bring the tax code, the tax rate, from 1.42% down to 1.25% as a start. I'd love to lower it, but we have to be realistic. I won't vote for any budget that has any kind of deficit. I'll try to fund more and more of our district with private investment. We've got a bond that we're trying to pay off right now from Lufkin Stadium that we would have to sell out every seat at every football game for the next 100 years to pay that off. Let's bring in some private investment, and we won't have to spend taxpayer money on that. We can spend taxpayer money on saving teachers' jobs who we're currently laying off. We can spend more on bringing in technology so we can spend less money on paper. And we can actually bring in the kind of textbooks these kids need that are not expired. Again, I'm Kevin Crouch, and if you're in Waxahachie or in a close outlying area, I'd love your support, because what's going on Gibson Street simply can't stay. Thank you.
Kevin, when is this election? When is this election taking place?
This is the best part. My election date is actually set. We know exactly when it's going to be. It's May 12th. Keep that in mind. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. And I'd like to thank the Ellis County Tea Party for hosting this event. If you had told me a year ago that I would be participating in candidate forums, I would have pulled out my cell phone and dialed 911. Because surely you must have been close to death, delirious with the high fever. Never in my wildest imaginations would I have thought that I would be asking people to vote for me to be their representative. Yet I am doing this, and I'm doing this because I am such a concerned citizen. As a mother and a grandmother, I see what's going on in our country. Almost not a week passes by where I hear a story and I go, this cannot be going on in America. It is so important that we have people who are constitutional conservatives on every level, from school boards to city councils to state representatives to our federal level. I want to go to Austin as a constitutional conservative so we can stop all these things that are going on where people's rights are being stepped on. I would like to ask for your vote whenever the election is going to be, and thanks again for coming.
My name is Tom Graham, Chief Justice of the 10th Court of Appeals. It sits in Waco. We have jurisdiction over 18 counties, and Ellis County is the northeast corner of that 18-county district. 14 years ago, my opponent and I both had decisions to make, and he decided to run for and was elected to be a district judge in Brazos County. And at that time is when I first ran for and was elected to the position of justice on this Court of Appeals. Ever since then, we've been both serving folks in Central Texas, he in Brazos County, and me in the entire 18-county district. So while he's been a district court judge, I've been an appellate court judge, and I really think that this election is about selecting the best qualified candidate to be and continue to be that appellate court judge. I've been the author of over 1,500 opinions and over 5,000 dispositions with me and the other members of the panel on the court. Plus in 2003, I became the Chief Justice and started overseeing the budgetary issues on the court, and my CPA and business background have been very helpful in that regard. And frankly, there were times, we ran into a little rough patch on the court. The other two judges had a little problem with the frequency of my dissenting opinions, and they were getting reversed a lot. Those two guys are gone. We've got a very conservative court now. Everything's clicking along really nice, and I think that's in large part due to the way that we've managed the court since the change in the other justices. So very, very pleased with the way things are running there now. In the time available, I can't begin to explain the 10,001 things that makes me more efficient and a better Chief Justice to serve you all. All I can say, I'll end this with a little ditto that my wife says. Just remember, when you get down there in the judges area, that justice is neither black nor white, it's gray. Tom Gray. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, I guess that concludes our candidates. I hope that the Ellis County Tea Party has helped all of you of you become a little more familiar with who it is that's running and who you think you might be beginning to like. So thank you for coming in this bad weather. Now, our big leader here, Cindy Kelly, has one more thing to say here. Go ahead, Cindy. You're really not all that big.
First of all, we'd like to thank the Waxahachie Daily Light, KBEC Radio, the Waxahachie Civic Center, Linda Bounds, Kay Dunn, and Stephanie Stetson for their refreshments, the radio station for broadcasting our date and time, and then abruptly changing the location when we had to move. I don't know how many of you know, but we had this planned at Navarre College for over 2 months. And Tuesday afternoon, about 4:35 actually, we got a call that they said that they decided it was an inappropriate use of their facility. So just keep that in mind when you drive by Navarre College from now on and know that your tax dollars are supporting that school. Anyway, and for the Waxahachie Daily Light, the NS Daily newspaper as well has posted the information about our forums and about different things the Tea Party has going on very graciously and never charged us anything. So our next meeting will be on March the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. We're not really for sure what we're going to do. We had a precinct training a couple of weeks ago, and we may repeat that. There has been some interest in some precinct training, so you know what happens after the primary, if we ever have a primary. You know what happens in the precinct convention. You know about selecting a temporary secretary and a temporary precinct chair. So and those are all part of the voting process, all part of the party process. And so if you're interested in knowing about that, please let us know. There will be things posted about that on our website. And speaking of which, Henry's going to come and tell you something about our website.
Cindy, while you're up there, where will the next meeting be held?
It will be held right here at the Civic Center. We have, there are some rooms around the back hall that there's a partition, and they open that partition and we can use the whole room. They have actively pursued us to move over here, and so we're going to do that. We can do that for what we pay right now at the Comfort Inn. So we're going to do that. So anyway.
Henry Hefner.
EllisCountyTeaParty.org, if you can't spell. Or if you've got a memory as short as mine, we've got push cards right outside on the table. If you're interested in the Tea Party and learning more about it and getting involved, or if you just want information, go there. If you will sign up at that website, you can get our emails. We don't send out anything but about once a week. So just to keep everybody informed. That's what we're here for, is just to try to inform everybody on what's going on so that they can make decisions for themselves.
Henry, you said we didn't film this tonight. What did we do?
We recorded it. You missed anything? You want to see how you looked on camera for you candidates? Probably within the next couple of days, it'll be up on YouTube and available on our website.
Thank you, Henry.
Hi, Mom.
Thank you all for coming. Thank all the candidates for their participation. We wish you the best of luck whenever we do have an election. Thank you all.
Eat the rest of those cookies that are in the layout. Did coffee ever get done?
Yeah.
Okay, there may be some coffee back there too.
Safe travels home.